There are three main things that increase your sales at the farmer's market: the call-in, the upsell, and having an inviting booth that you have invested, decorated, and made your own that is inviting to the customer. All the sales associates that make the most money do all three of these things. These vans are packed to the brim. There's only enough space to provide the bare minimum of a setup. Here's just a few examples of some of our sales associates. They just add little things to make the booth look much better. Bring their own tablecloths, props, a whiteboard for the meat, very important. Stuffed animals like a goat or a cow. Little cute handwritten signs with their own descriptions. And I know some of you have to park pretty far from the market, but a lot of this stuff could fit in a backpack and you could just carry it in. Okay, for a recap, we got tablecloths, whiteboard, stuffed animals, props, a small stand for the meat chest. That helps me out a lot. I have my meat chest on a stand, so when I get the meat out, I could just show it right to the customer, and I don't have to bend over and dig so much. And then we have custom signs and maybe some decorative baskets. The sky's the limit. Now, I can't stress just how important having a nice booth is. We had a couple examples of sales associates this week that have a nice booth. They upsell and they call people in, and they really never have a bad sales day. We had someone in the East Bay. They made $368 in commission. They have a nice booth, and they do their inventory sheets, the requests and whatnot. And we had an example where we had a fill-in in Montclair, and that's a sales associate. She works maybe once or twice a month, but she has all the setup, and she increased that market $300. And there's another sales associate in the East Bay, and this is a cheese and egg only market. And she always calls people in. She has a really nice booth, and she's good at upselling. And she made, $312 in commission. Not bad for 4.5 hours work. And we had our Foster City market. We were getting ready to get rid of that market. It wasn't doing over $400. Sales, everyone said sales were slow. And then here comes this young 19-year-old kid. He gets really excited about the products, really good at calling people in, and he had a really nice setup, whiteboard, props. And now Foster City does 900 to 1200 every time. So it's just those little touches that can make a big difference. We also have a real inspirational story of someone that works two South Bay markets on Saturday and Sunday. When he first started, those were $700-800 markets. And then he came in with a nice booth, upselling, getting excited about the product, calling people in, and inventory sheets. He is very thorough with inventory sheets, with the meat and the cheese. If he sells out of some cheese or some meat, he writes the time he sold out at. He writes little notes. If he thinks he got too much product, he puts corrections, send to Les Kiefer next time, or I could probably sell 6 and you sent 10. So, and he started these markets with, one ice chest for the cheese and one very small meat cooler. And then he kept selling, doing inventory sheets. His meat chest got bigger and bigger, And then he needed a separate ice chest just for the kefir. And just this weekend, $2,000 at one market, $2,300 at the other. He left with like $860. Now having an $860 commission weekend just doesn't happen overnight. He started somewhere with a nice booth and some sales skills, and he got that market higher every month. So he earned every bit of that. Now, when it comes to the booth, this is your business. You need to come up with the ideas, the inspiration, the decorations, just everything. And the more you put into it, the more money you're going to make. And I realize sometimes there's problems with our equipment, with the tents, ice chest lids, that kind of thing. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of 5 a.m. mistakes. But I'm working with our kick-ass inventory manager, and we're solving the problems. And the operation's getting smoother every week, and we're going to continue to grow. And there's so many costs involved with running a farm. Feeding the animals, all the people that need to get paid for labor, fuel prices. And that's where we need you to just really think about this as your business. You need ideas for your business, and the more you put into your business, the more it's going to grow, and the more money you'll make. And if you follow these tips, study the message wall where I'll post other tips, I guarantee you're going to sell a lot more. All right, I wanted to kind of go over how to properly upsell. So you don't give up too much money, but you make a lot more. So with upselling, as you can see, this was from Diablo Valley. I had $1,840, and I gave $63 in discounts, but I had a really high average sale. And the higher your average sale, the more you're making use out of every customer. And on a slow day, if you have a high average sale, you'll still have a good day. So with that in mind, I selectively used upselling. Someone was already buying 2 things of cheese. I said, hey, we're doing a special today. Why don't you add a third cheese and we'll give you $2 off? If someone was interested in the eggs, they said, how much for the eggs? I said, oh, they're $10 with purchase, or $12 on their own. And you could do this with a number of things. If someone's just buying meat only, you could say, hey, we're doing a special today. If you're getting meat, you get $2 off this cheese, or $1 off. As long as your discounts are reasonable, and when I look through the numbers, it shows me that you're upselling, that's fine. Because I only gave up 3.4% when you divide 6387 by 1,840. And that's a great example of selectively using upselling and using language like, oh, today we're doing a special. And you don't offer the discount until they're already committed to buy. Once they have that feta in their hand, you're about to ring them up. You say, hey, have you tried our butter? Why don't you add a butter in? We'll give you $2 off. And then once you keep doing that, cross-selling the meat, the cheese, the kefir, and if you have eggs, then pretty soon you have almost a $40 average sale. So just something to think about. And, you can always reach out to me, give me a phone call. I'm a sales coach. I help you out. Some people are natural salespeople, but it can be learned fairly easy. The main thing is just to have fun at the market and keep calling people in. And with the call in, people walk by, you say, hey, we got cheese, butter, beef, and pork, artisan cheese from Petaluma. You can kind of say what you want, just kind of say it smoothly, and don't bark it out there too loud. Make sure you're heard, because when they hear your voice, they look over at your booth, and if you have a nice decorated booth, They're already coming over to buy something. Now, with the call-in, it might seem simple, but you could also use it strategically. Like if you see a middle-aged man walking, you could say, "We got ribeyes, we got porterhouses." You could use humor, or I call them icebreakers. Someone walks by, you call out, "We got cultured butter, fresh from the udder." Or if you see someone walk by, ask if you could make their cheese dreams come true. Just say something related to the product to get the attention on your booth. And the most important thing is just have fun. Dress up at the market for Halloween. And if people see you smiling, they're more likely to buy something from you and engage in conversation. But just remember, keep those conversations short. If enough people talk to you for 15 minutes, pretty soon that's an hour of sales you lost. And also, one of my most successful tips is always mention the ground beef and the ground pork. No matter what they buy, people are always looking for that stuff. And I would say maybe one person out of three will take you up on that offer. And that's all I got for right now. Happy selling, and feel free to reach out. I'm always here for you. Oh, one more important tip I just remembered. When you're doing the call-in, if you see someone glance over at the booth, what I like to do is I start rattling off the types of cheeses we have. Start with the kefir, the curds, explain them, and go all the way down, just when I get their attention. And a lot of times, they'll feel obligated to buy after you talked about all of our delicious products. All right, and that is officially a wrap.